Hey there, if you're scrolling through a dozen sewing machines hoping to find the one that actually fits your life, I get why you're hesitating. You don't want to spend hard-earned cash on a brand that looks great on paper but ends up gathering dust because it can't handle the projects you really need to finish. And I hear you, there's a real fear of buying the wrong tool, especially when you're juggling a home-based wardrobe makeover, a small side business, or just trying to patch up a favorite pair of jeans. So before we dive in, just a quick note, the link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Now, let's talk about the JUKI Haruka TL18QVP. This isn't your typical hobby-level machine that you'd see on a kitchen counter. JUKI has taken the core mechanism that runs its industrial overlocker lines and squeezed it into a portable, white aluminum shell that weighs about 25 pounds. That says a lot about where its strengths and compromises lie, and it's exactly the kind of information you need before you click Add to Cart. Who should buy this? If you're someone who already knows what a feed dog does, who has at least a couple of fabrics in your stash, knits, denim, lightweight cotton, and you want a machine that can keep up whether you're stitching a simple hem or a more complex free motion design, you'll feel right at home. The adjustable speed range from 200 up to 1,500 stitches per minute, SPM, is a big deal for folks who need that extra punch when quilting large pieces, or who want to slow down for delicate embroidery. The built-in light that you can dim directly at the needle area also saves you from hunching over a dark workspace, which is a practical win for anyone who spends an hour or more at the machine. If, on the other hand, you're a total beginner who has never even threaded a bobbin, or you're looking for a super light, handheld unit you can pop into a suitcase for travel, the Haruka might feel a little heavyweight both literally and in terms of required knowledge. The 25-pound frame, while portable on a sturdy tabletop, isn't something you'll comfortably hold for extended periods. And because it uses the same industrial mechanism, the controls assume a baseline familiarity with tension adjustments, feed dog positioning, and speed sliders. Let's walk through a common day in the life of a home-based seamstress who just got this machine. She starts her morning by loading a fresh spool of cotton into the upper thread holder, drops the bobbin, and flips the feed dog lever to the up position because she's doing a straight seam quilt. She needs a consistent, even feed, and the JUKI's industrial-grade feed dog, which can be raised or lowered, does exactly that without the jitter you sometimes hear from cheaper models. When she moves on to a free motion segment, say, adding a decorative stitch on a denim jacket, the lever drops the feed dog, letting the fabric glide freely under the needle. The slide adjustable speed knob lets her dial back to a gentle 300 SPM for precise control, avoiding the common stitch blurring that can happen when the machine is cranked too fast. A real-world advantage that often gets overlooked is the separate attachment mounting plate. For a user who likes to add fabric guides, an extensible quilting frame, or even a specialty foot, that plate offers a sturdier connection point than many compact machines. It means accessories won't wobble as you're stitching a long seam, reducing fatigue and the need for constant realignment. If you've tried to attach a free motion foot on a smaller machine only to have it wobble and throw off your stitch count, you'll appreciate this detail. Now, let's flip the script to where the Haruka might disappoint. The first thing you'll notice is the lack of a built-in needle threader. Many entry-level machines include a simple plunger-type threader that saves you from the frustration of hand threading. With the Haruka, you're expected to either be comfortable threading the needle yourself or to use an external needle threader, which adds another tool to your kit. Another point is the absence of a preset stitch library. Unlike machines that come with a dozen decorative patterns at the push of a button, the Haruka keeps its focus on core stitching functions: straight, zigzag, and free motion. That isn't a flaw per se, but if you were hoping for a ready-made lace or candlewick stitch, you'll need to create those manually or look for third-party accessories. One subtle trade-off is the noise level. The industrial mechanism delivers power, but it also brings a certain hum that can be louder than a hobby-grade model. In a shared apartment or a quiet studio, that hum may be a minor irritation, especially if you're trying to work while listening to a podcast at low volume. It's not a deafening roar, but it's noticeable, something you'll want to test in person if you're sensitive to sound. From a value perspective, the Haruka's pricing sits in the upper mid-range for portable machines, but the return on that investment.